the true and real form of discipleship. But the stuff that we digest, the content that we watch, the stuff that we listen to does form us. Jackie Hill Perry, Tim Ross decided to give a challenge a couple weeks ago talking about a 30-day Christian music only challenge. And I think this is really interesting, not only because they talk a little bit about just kind of secular music and some origins of artists. That's not really so much what I'm concerned with, but it's this comment here that Jackie Hill Perry says in music's formation to our daily life.
Oh, it's not good for me. Now, I'm not even talking about heaven, hell. Right now, today.
Right.
Having joy in myself. You know why we have so much anxiety? So much depression? We are entertaining people who put that in us. They're not training us to set our minds on things above. They're not training us to cast our cares on God. They're not training us to see goodness and godliness. They're not trained. That's discipleship. We're being discipled by Satan's people.
Now that's a pretty bold, pretty loaded statement. She says there, she said the music that she's listening to is not training her to put her mind on Christ. The music she's listening to is not training her to be joyful and find joy in her soul. And I find that super fascinating and true in a way. So she flat out says this is discipleship, which is a very interesting thought if you think about it. The content you digest, the videos you watch, the podcasts you listen to, the music you listen to is actually a form of discipleship. Now, don't come at me in the comments or at me at a coffee shop if you hear me say you cannot be discipled by somebody over a screen. I just don't believe it's possible. I think you need that one-on-one, like in-person relationship to be poured into your life on a regular basis. That is the true and real form of discipleship. But the stuff that we digest, the content that we watch, the stuff that we listen to does form us. Maybe formation is a better term to use than discipleship, but I think discipleship should carry a weight. And as artists and content creators, we should think about that weight in regard to the content that we make. But for now, let's just talk about formation. Jackie Hill Perry says that this doesn't train her to be joyful. The music that she was listening to doesn't train us to be joyful. What if we began to live our lives like that and think about how the music that we're listening to, the podcast that we listen to, how are they training us to cast our eyes onto Jesus? I think it might change a lot of what we listen to, a lot of what we say, and a lot of what we watch. And it should. But I want to take one step further. And for you artists that are watching, for you content creators that are watching, whether it be video, music, visual arts, graphics, that sort of thing, you are making things that are forming people's minds. You are making things that are causing someone to look somewhere. Now, are they looking at you? Are they looking at someone else's false situation, a not real expectation of their life? Or are they looking at Jesus, the one who lived perfectly, who died for their sins, and can help bring them into those unforced rhythms of rest that only can be found in Him? I'm saying we make songs that are for the daily life, but all of life should point to God and who He is and His goodness. And it should bring that joy. It should bring that peace. It should bring that rest. It should bring the very thing that in the song On and On, I'm wrestling with. My acknowledgement of who God is and what He has done forms the way I live, which forms the songs that I make, which forms the content that I listen to, which forms the life that I live. It's kind of this beautiful circle of whole life worship. But my hope is to pop in here more regularly again, share what I'm learning as a Christian artist, but also to share my thoughts on art, faith, and all those things. Are you tired of getting the same old thing from artists? A song on Spotify for you to listen to and then move on to the next one. Us too. That's why we started The Crew. The Crew is a Patreon community where you get to partner with us in creating to bring glory to the Creator. And as a member, you'll get things like merchandise discounts, access to live streams that aren't shown anywhere else, along with devotional content that we're calling memos and meditations. But it's more than just the perks that you get. It's about being part of something larger than yourself and larger than what we're trying to do, which is providing a contrast culture than the things that are out there. Providing art that is engaging and creative and encouraging those in their walk with Jesus. That's what we're trying to do. So head over, join our Patreon, join the Crew for less than $5 a month. You can join us over there and just watch and see what we can do together. I'm really excited about 2023. I hope you are too. So I'll see you over there. Click over, join the Crew. See you inside.